Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance. Now, it's time to welcome two serial entrepreneurs, leaders, husbands, and fathers who are passionate about sharing the strategies that are helping them excel in life and in business. Here are Mauricio Garcia and Hubert Humphrey.
A great day I hope everybody is having today. My name is Mauricio Garcia. And remember that the Conquistador Podcast is a podcast created for all driven, determined dreamers. Here we talk about marketing, sales, business, and everything that gravitates around entrepreneurship. To talk about today's topic, I'm joined by my friend, my mentor, and the legendary Hubert Humphrey. Hubert, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you today.
Awesome. Well, listen, one of the things we have in common is that we've made a living and we've spent most of our professional lives in an industry that I think is the greatest industry in the world. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invested 22 years of my life into it. I found it. It was a blessing. I've never seen anything like it before. I think we've never talked about this really openly like we decided to talk about today, which is why choose the financial industry when there's so many different things out there with all the innovation and the technology and all these different new shiny opportunities that come. You know, why choose one of the oldest industries in the world, which is the financial services industry, where you found major success? Why is it still a good bet?
Well, first of all, it is the oldest and largest and biggest and most necessary, and will be here as long as there's people on earth. There's going to be the financial services. There's going to be the insurance and investment type world. That's just the way it is, and for many years, it was the domain of just a few big companies who controlled it, and they had more linear sales forces, and it probably wasn't that great of a career for the average person, because you had to be a sales guy and you had to be trained and all to do those sort of things. But years ago, when we built the A.L. Williams business, which today is the big Primerica company, and then we went on and built World Marketing Alliance, which is World Financial Group, Transamerica today, and now building the big Hedgemon Group International Company. We literally have gone out there and changed the industry. We've changed the whole way insurance companies look at the market. We've changed the demographics from just going after the 5% of the wealthy to middle America. So we've gone out there and done all this, and we've got all the great products that have been invented now. And we've got powerful new products. Everything's just perfect in the industry. So anybody that's looking for a place to go, this industry is teed up for you. We've pioneered a change in it where we disrupted the industry, and it's brought in people from all walks of life here. Not your traditional it's not your grandfather's traditional insurance industry anymore. This is a business where people come into it all the time. People from all walks of life. Like here, a little guy from Mexico can come up into the U.S. and get into that business, and we've kind of revolutionized this thing to the point where for people who are looking for extra income or a second career or a whole new career, they ought to look at this because it's got so many great features. One, the upside is so tremendous. The potential of the money that can be made is just unbelievable. I just don't know of another business where it requires so little capital and you can get such a return, and it's per capita for the most people will have the biggest chance to succeed. And you start in this business, and there's no inventories, there's no manufacturing plants, there's no big investments of money that has to be put into it to get it started. We have simplified the business now and had it turnnkeyed and formatted to where almost anybody can come in here and do it. We've got people from all walks of life that have done it over many years. And it's inflation proof. It's recession proof. It's Washington D.C. proof. It's pandemic proof. The harder the times, the more people need our products and concepts and opportunities. So you couldn't ask for a better business to be in than financial services. And then then the impact on what it can do for the families and for the consumers is just overwhelming. So you're helping. The great thing is you can be a servant leader helping so many people with their finances, and you're able to make some great rewards too.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you a personal story because it has to do exactly with what you're saying. I came from Mexico in 1998, got my job at a cell phone company, welding cell phone batteries. After 6 months of that, I will forever thank this lady that invited me to see an opportunity in financial services. I got involved, and after just, learning the products, the basics of it, I was able to go out there and working, my 50, 60-hour weeks, because, had to, if you wanted to really excel, you can't be thinking about working a 40-hour week. So you got to do your 50, 60-hour weeks out there. But what I'm trying to get to is that I was out there talking to parents that had kids soon to going to college about saving for being able to finance that big expense. And I was able to do 10 to 15 of these deals on a weekly basis. 10 to 15, that was my average. 10 to 15 of these things on a weekly basis, where I got paid about $1,200 a pop. That was more money than all my siblings combined. I have never seen anything like it. And at that moment, I didn't know that there were different levels to this thing. This is just the basic. This is like you're going out there and you're helping somebody solve, things like funding college or funding retirement or having the family protected, right? Understanding how money works, whether that's compounding, the power of compounding, understanding the difference between simple compound interest, the decreasing responsibility curve, all these different concepts that I learned and I was able to teach. It generated more income that I could ever imagine. And like I said, it was just the beginning. I don't know how it was for you, but to me, it was life-changing. I never looked back. And I've seen people go into mortgage industries and go into real estate industries and going into all these different industries, and there's really just no comparison. Because, I could go out there do 10, 15 of these deals on a weekly basis. I can't necessarily sell 10, 15 homes and just like that. Or get in network marketing where the memberships basically die a few months after you bring somebody in the business. In here, the way I look at it is somebody gets an insurance plan or a retirement sort of a plan or a college funding sort of a plan. They continue to pay these things for decades. So the renewals on there, it's more solid than anything else. But that's just what I see from the outside. Being in the industry, looking at what other people are doing, and always choose this industry for all those different reasons.
Right. Well, and you are a good example of a person that came in from a job over and got in and learned a new career and became an independent agent out selling insurance products for various retirement savings purposes. And you made good money. And that alone separates the business from other businesses. That on your own pen, just by what you do, you can go out and make it's not uncommon to make a six-figure income. In fact, on my own pen, I'd never been in insurance business before in my life, and I got started. I made around $34,000 in my first 3.5 months, and replaced my railroad income after 17 years on the railroad. And so it changed my life just on my own pen. And literally on my own pen, I had a six-figure income my first year, and I never dreamt I could do six figures like you there. But then I realized that, and this goes a little bit beyond what you had in your career up until you and I got together here a few years ago, is that you became a very good sales guy, and you put in the hours. Then you progressed to where you went to a more upscale market. Then you started running seminars, and you started being more professional in your leads. And so you really went the route of a full-blown professional financial services guy, and that's a great career. But what we did, we brought a different level to that where you could go out there and start to build organizations and build teams and start to have overrides off of the efforts of lots of people. And that truly was what revolutionized the industry more than everything. So the industry is great, even if you're out there as a one-person professional agent. It's a great career, but it's a monstrous career if you come in and master the recruiting and building side that we have to do this thing with. So it's a powerful business. It's the only business I know where you're from a entrepreneurial standpoint, they will go out and the insurance companies basically are the bankers. And the clients basically are signing for the loan to you. And there's so many words. You turn in an application for insurance where the client's giving you 1 month's. You're going to have 1 month's bank draft and a voided check with the app, and the company is going to annualize it. And most of our companies pay 100%. They'll pay all 12 months commissions because you got 1 month's premium, and they'll advance it to you and then recover it back. So you you don't see that anyplace else. You can only do that with money products. Powerful, supercharged industry there to be able to do something like that. And then from the client side standpoint, what a deal. I mean, everybody, whether they like it or not, needs to have insurance for their family to protect against the premature death of a breadwinner, or to have education for the kids, or to prepare to use it for tax purposes, to prepare for retirement and planning and all those things. Yeah. But you can rent for pennies. You can rent dollars. You're renting a substitute form of wealth for the client. The client is nothing. No other industry like it for the client or for the entrepreneur. It's a fabulous industry.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the speed of the money, honestly, where you were right. I didn't understand initially how was that even possible. I would send out an application with a $100 check, bank draft, and then a week, sometimes even before the week, got $1,000 in the commissions. Like, how is that even possible? You know, I understand that now the insurance companies are looking long-term to that, right? And therefore, they have the ability to advance you the equivalent of whatever those 12-month premium payments are going to be. But that to me was just mind-blowing. The fact that I could bring $10,000, $15,000, and this is 2000, this is 20 years ago, adjusted for inflation. It was more money than my siblings combined. They were even thinking I was dealing something on the side, or I was doing something that was illegal, because they couldn't understand. They go to work, they're earning, I don't know what the minimum wage was back in the day, but doing the in my family, my dad being a manager at a golf course, my mom working at a hotel as a housekeeper, and just doing these jobs that were not any higher than minimum wage. They couldn't understand how I could bring home $10,000 a week into the year 2000, while they'll bring in $300-400, $600 after 40-hour work, after all the taxes being taken off and all these different things. So obviously something was wrong, and they couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. How the speed of money, and how insurance companies were able to do that. But anyways, like I was saying, there are levels to this, because then in the same industry, as you evolve into more of a estate planning type of thing, like you said, I heard somebody in a seminar say, well, there's two ways to grow your revenue here, and the message to me was perfect at that time, because I had reached a plateau. I couldn't really write more than 10-15 apps for my own pen, although that was very good money. But then it was about learning how to solve a much bigger problem, more into the estate planning type of side, where now you're solving other bigger problems. Same industry, same companies, but now you're averaging 10 times, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a case by solving these different things. And I started to apply that. Because they told me you have to learn how to solve a bigger problem within the same industry. But then there's another paradigm shift when I met you, which is now the higher law, which is distribution, which is what you were saying. It's like, how do you now, it's not just depending on what you can write on your personal pen. You can continue to do that, but now you can leverage the time of other people that can come in the business, help much more families, have much more distribution, and therefore now you break the barrier of time, In other words, because now you have like some of our leaders that have thousands of people out there being professionals or they're in the industry. Is what I'm trying to say, and this individual, I'm not going to mention his name necessarily because it's not necessary, but he's producing maybe $100 million in his team and maybe making $2 or $3, $4 million a year without him having to write a single policy. That's pretty amazing.
Well, it is, and it's the power of multiples. Anybody that's out there doing any kind of a network marketing business or multi-level marketing or anything of that nature, where you're putting your efforts, organically or with social media, you're growing your business and recruiting all these people out there, and you're not marketing financial services through your products. You're just missing out a fortune. We will be seeing your people soon. So you need to either be a player with us or you're going to be roadkill down the road, because the money is just overwhelming, and eventually the smart people will gravitate to where the big money is, and they'll come this way, and you need to be on it better. And again, if you're going to do that, well, then you need to be finding somebody like us that's got the right system, and because while it's a great thing to be in, you've got to be in the right vehicle to make it all work here. And but anyway, it's a great industry. Does great things for the consumer. It's timeless, and to me, just the insurance industry as a whole, like right now, people who've got, regardless of what insurance policy you have out there, there's a good chance that it's too expensive. It needs to be replaced. There's new actuarial tables where the insurance today is built on a actuarial table now to age 120 as opposed to age 95 or 100. So the cost per thousand is way down. So you need to have your business looked at and replaced for that reason. Now you got living benefits, which insurance you don't have to die to use features for chronic illness, critical illness, terminal illness. All this sort of stuff is added to modernization of the product, causes you to have to look at it. So there's all kind of reasons out there right now. We're talking about millions and millions of people that are out there, and they all need it. And also, the whole country is underinsured right now. Only less than 30% of the families out there have sufficient insurance. They need more. So it's not like it's saturated, because people have a tendency sometimes to when they go through a recession or go through a depression or something in their life, they'll drop coverage, and people need to do it to solve it. When we started A.L. Williams, we looked at that. If the problem's big enough and the solution's big enough, you can have one of the great success stories of all time. Well, we looked at there was 100 million insurance policies of what we call the wrong kind, low coverage, cash value, whole life, with high premiums. Well, we went out there and sold term and invest the difference, where you get 3 or 4 times the coverage for half the money and invest the difference, and have more retirement and have a lot more death benefit. And we went out there and turned an industry upside down, because our solution became as big as the problem, and we solved it, and it made history. It changed the insurance buying habits of Middle America. It changed the way insurance companies thought about insurance, and it's evolved today where it's made the industry so much better for the products, the concepts, the services, and the compensation. We make about 4 or 5 times per transaction of what we made 30 and 40 years ago, guys. So it's a perfect industry to be in.
So I was over the last decade at least, I have always liked to go and type in, obviously, the all-knowing Google, and say, hey, what is the industry where you are more likely to become a millionaire? And year after year after year, from many different sources, says financial services are always ranking number one. And that has been true for the last decade, for all the reasons that you're mentioning. But still, I think the future looks even brighter because of the things you're saying. People are underinsured, right? There is just more people out there. There's innovations in the products. And the fact that pensions have gone away, and the financial stability of every single person now depends on them, like having the right vehicles, the right investments, the right insurance, so it really has the best opportunity. You know, I remember back when mortgages were the hottest thing, right? Back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, where everybody was basically doing that. I looked at, and even at that time, I was looking at people, even though the lending guidelines were so relaxed, where everybody would qualify for a mortgage, even if you had no job, no income, no nothing, no credit. Still, if I would submit 10 life insurance and 10 applications of what I was doing versus 10 loans that were submitted, 9 out of 10 of my policies were always issued, while on the other side, on the mortgage or any other things, there's a lot of factors that sometimes destroy the deal, whether that's the credit, whether that's the income, whether that's the appraisal. There's so many different things, and it's just been like that. Like I compare to real estate agents and compared to insurance. It's the speed of things are not nearly the same. You know, and there's a lot of realtors making a lot of money out there, but the vast majority, how long does it take for them to really, turn or flip a house, or not flip a house, but sell a property? And it's just, there's no comparison. And therefore, what I'm trying to say is that financial services is ranking number 1 as the industry that is more likely to make you a millionaire. There's obviously no guarantee. You got to go out there, put in the work, and learn communication skills, right? And learn just learn the things that you would need to learn anyways in any entrepreneurship journey you embark on. But I just find that interesting. What would you say for the future of the industry is? I've never seen you more excited, that's for sure.
Well, the industry is just unlimited out there. The challenge is the traditional industry. The average age of the traditional old agent out there is around 58, 59, and so it's a diminishing industry. And so the new blood is needed in the industry. That's what kept A.L. Williams made a big difference. We brought over $1.5 million of people in that 14 years, and there's been about 3 million come in the last 30 years of new blood. But in the traditional side of the house out there is an aging, so that there's more people right now than ever before needing financial services, education. Mm-hmm. The seniors at retirement, the baby boomers that are now getting into that age zone, and Generation X and Y, all of them are needing it, and there's not enough people to go around to service them, and so there's a bigger market. There's more need for it. There's fewer people out there, and it's a desperate need for new people to come into the industry. So the people that can bring solutions like we do with our recruiting and building systems, we just own the world. And just remember, when money moves, fortunes are made. Mm-hmm. You just need to find out where it's moving from to where it's moving to, and not only in our business, not only by yourself, but get you a team, and as it's moving by you, gather it, become hunter-gatherers of assets, and put it in for insurance and annuities and assets under management. There's all kinds of things out there, but there's a lot of money. There's trillions and trillions with a T of dollars that are moving in this intergenerational wealth transference that's going on, and so the wealth wave is underway.
Let's be more specific here, because people that are listening to us right now, there are probably many that are going in the educational route. I think there is a great opportunity in that space. I think that in the future, teachers that go virtual and take their knowledge online, they'll be making a lot of money. But why would somebody choose financial services versus just going into putting up a course online? Like, as an example, from your standpoint, if I was going in that direction, and you had the opportunity to wake me up and say, hey, listen, that may not be the route you want to go, because it doesn't have the right leverage, it doesn't have the multiples, it doesn't have the money behind it. Why should I go into financial services versus drop shipping on Amazon or any of those things that are out there?
Are you talking about instead of going into some other network marketing deal with some other non-financial services product?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, those small ticket items I had a part-time career in Amway when I was working on the railroad, and would recruit lots of people, understand that game, and it's a fun way to make no money. There's a few people at the top, very rare, because they override hundreds of thousands of people, and most everybody's not going to be able to do that. But you can't make a living off your own pen in those types of products. You can't make six-figure income, $200,000 or $300,000 off your own pen doing it, and there's no residual to it. And most people out there, as you say, they're not necessary products. They're nice products, good products, luxury products, whatever. But if it comes down to what they got to keep or something, they'll let that go, and they'll keep financial services products. And more, when they would drop something else. And the other thing is that here you've got residual income, you've got renewals, you've got recurring income on assets under management. You've got big advance now money first year, and then you got big recurring income you can build up. Plus a compounding recruiting and building team. When you add all those multiples together, it's hard to beat anything that we're doing over here. And to me, those very same people that you're selling soap or vitamins or anti-aging or whatever it is you're marketing, or diet plans, or you name it, whatever it is or Bitcoin or that, whatever you're doing, somebody else somewhere is taking care of their financial services and making a fortune that you're leaving on the table. You just need to ask yourself, I'm putting out this much effort to build a team of people, and I don't have any real something to keep them holding here. They don't really have a profession. And the next hot thing that comes along is going to attract a bunch of them are going to run over and try to do that one. In fact, most people that are out doing so-called network marketing, it's like a lottery ticket. They're in 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, hoping that one of them will hit. Well, that's not building a career. That's just playing slot machines of life.
Well, the evidence is so overwhelming. A few years back, I always wondered I go downtown Chicago, right? I'm right off of the Chicago downtown. I go downtown, and as I started to travel to the many different cities in the United States, whether that's New York or LA, and I'm like, wow, I wonder who is behind, these skyscrapers, these big buildings, stuff like that. Later, I learned that the vast majority of those are banks and insurance companies. They're all financial companies. And that's overwhelming. I don't see many of those, multi-level marketing companies, so-called great opportunities, will be as solid. And with so much evidence out there, I wonder why people still gravitate towards like building the new app, right? They see these things like the WhatsApp and the TikTok and the Facebook, which we use every day, and looking at the stories of people becoming billionaires overnight. Everybody's just trying to get, be the next inventor of the next great app. For the most part, the likeliness of that happening are, close to none. And the possibilities really of somebody being able to generate the revenue, even to fund other dreams with the least risk possible, is the financial industry. As a matter of fact, I confess that the revenues that I've been able to generate from this wonderful industry has given me resources to do some of these experimentations and some things and some technologies, but it wasn't the other way around. In other words, it's also a great platform to build on, do other things.
Yeah, well, we use technology here as an addendum to our financial services business to help recruit people, to help train people, to help communicate with people, to help sales products, and use technology to support our business. Technology is not our business. It's a tool here, and to me, I would be so bold as to say there's not anybody out there that couldn't get in our business and have a chance to make some money and do pretty good based upon whatever their ambition and drive level is, if they wanted to. Now, not everybody's going to want to join. Not everybody that joins wants to stay. But if they wanted to, no other reason than they just sort of get distracted or what have you, or they get looking for what they think is a simpler, quicker way, this is a business that it won't be because the business is not doable. It won't be because they couldn't have made it here if they stayed the course. We have got this thing is this largest industry, most profitable industry in the world, most important industry in the world, is now available to everybody out there that wants to get into this business. Now, some people say, "Well, I want to take an exam and get a license. I don't want to do this." Well, those are just personal reasons, but there are no reasons why this would not succeed. And the odds are not stacked against you here. The odds are in your favor that if you straighten your mind out and make up your mind, people who make up their mind make money here, and all you got to do is do the same. But they're trying all these other deals. I mean, there's a bunch of people out there getting into multi-levels, and they're never going to make enough money to make a living off of, and probably never even going to make a consistent part-time income. So there are conditions against them. There are conditions against people out there trying to come up with a hot new app, the hot new technology piece. Those are one in a billion type of things. There are no reasons you can't succeed in this business unless you just personally decide that you don't want to for whatever reason. To me, that's an overwhelming opportunity for people who will make up their mind and give it a shot.
Yeah, if I look at the Forbes list of the richest people in the world, if you look at their portfolio and what they're involved in, the vast majority, a big chunk of them, has to do with financial services, insurance. A lot of them. So obviously the evidence is so overwhelming, and I wanted to talk about that obviously because there's people that are putting their effort, they're putting their time, which is their most valuable resource, into something that isn't going to yield what they could get out by putting the same type of effort and that energy into the powerful, probably the most powerful industry in the world, which is, by the way, the only industry that is measured in over 100 trillions or in hundreds of trillions in the world. So who else better to give their testimony than you? I made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in the industry, built the two largest independent. I don't know if you correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the largest distributor of insurance of independent agents.
Right. Well, we've done that twice, and we're on the verge of building our third part of the trilogy here, and they're multi-billion-dollar market cap companies today, and in an industry, and we've simplified it, and it's so much simpler. It's not easy, but it's simplified, but it's worth it here. And I just want to say to everybody out there is that we mentioned financial education. The great thing about financial services is that it comes with an education. It's best served with an education. We don't just sell a person a product. We try to educate them on a concept about and a principle that goes with that product. It's like that old saying: "You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime." We don't just go sell a product or sell an investment or whatever. We go and teach them and educate them on how it works and wrap that around that product, and they'll benefit for a lifetime. And these people that are out there trying to just use, my new career is I'm going to go out and just do education courses, financial education. There's a place to make some money and all that. But that's built into our system. We're going to be giving away free what these people are trying to sell. And that's going to be a hard thing to compete with us. And we're marketing a product that's going to make us a tremendous amount of money and help the consumer in a big, big way, besides just running a little education machine. So we believe education, but we just need, it goes with us. We teach people how to win the money game. That's what they want to know. They want to know the real secrets of money. They want to know about a financial education. That's what they want today. People are tired of counting on corporations to manage their 401ks. How did that work out for you in 2009 and 10?
Right.
Well, most people had never had any idea what was going on with their 401ks until it became a 201k.
Exactly.
It's too late. Now people want to know. And I don't mean they want to become geniuses, but we educate them. And the best way to get educated is to sit down and have somebody do a little needs analysis and educate you. It's not nothing sophisticated, just a simple little thing, collecting data and looking at it, and get you to look at it with us. And most people most people don't need one of us to make the decision for them. We teach them the correct principles, and then they can govern themselves. And you know what their risk tolerance is. You know what their you give best advice, and that's what we do.
Exactly. Well, I think you said it very good. People want to know how money works. People want to make more money. They want to make that money work, and you need the education. And becoming a distributor of that, and also knowing, I think that I can't remember the name of the. I don't know if it was CNN Money or somewhere I read, but there's a lot of places where you can find this information. That there's about between 60 and 90 trillion dollars that are going to change hands. So I guess this is the best time to be in the business of money, and like you said, be a facilitator, be somebody that provides the education so that money can transition to where it needs to go, and be compensated in the process for that. So any last words on that, Hubert, before we wrap it up for today?
You said it best. I mean, money's moving, and one thing about it, this 80 or 90 trillion dollars of wealth is going to move, whether we do anything, whether there's an HGI, whether you and I are in the business or not. It's going to move. The key is, how much are we going to be involved in that? How big of a team are we going to build to go out and help facilitate it and gather the assets and direct them under the control that we want to do, to be able to improve our lives and improve the lives of our clients out there. So it's going to move. It's just, if you go in a different business and you never get in financial services, that money's moving and fortunes are going to be made. Right. Don't miss out on it. That's the big thing.
Awesome. Well, listen, hopefully that helped you. If you are right now in a position where you are trying out a business that is not providing you what you expected, if you're thinking about going in business, maybe you ought to consider the financial services industry. And that ties into our sponsor today. Hegemon Group International has the best opportunity in the largest industry, the oldest industry in the world. And if you want to know how to get involved, go check out the opportunity by going to hgiopportunity.com. See, we made it very easy for you to remember. That is hgiopportunity.com. Go there, check them out, and get involved. Hubert, it was an awesome podcast today. We will see you tomorrow, sir.
All right. See you later. Thanks.
Bye.
Warning. This podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.